Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on our African Nightcrawler bins. Now, it has been nearly a month since my last update. I'm not putting food in these really. I'm just trying to grow out my population. They eat a lot of cardboard, and they whipped through it the first time, and then I moved some into a hamster bedding bin, and then I moved some adults into another bin, and they sort of slowed down a little bit, but one of the systems did look like it was picking up a bit. We're going to check and see how they're doing. Maybe we'll start up a third bin as far as for these African Nightcrawlers, and if we see a lot of grown worms in there, we will do that in this video as well, but it's going to depend on how they look. So with that, let's take a look and see how these bins are doing. Alright, so here's our first system. This is my original system here, and just to kind of get it started here, let's take a look at the temperature, which looks like it says it's about 69 to 70 degrees on here. So that's not a bad temperature. It's a little low for these guys, but it's not too bad. And actually, you know what? Hold on. Before I go anywhere, let's just for those that are outside the country here, just so you can see. I know everyone else works in Celsius, so 21 degrees it looks like. I'm reading this backwards, so about 21 degrees. The other bin should be about the same. These are kept really close to each other. But what we're going to do here first, and as you can see here, my last update was on 11.9. Let's just push this down just a little bit. There we go. Actually, right there. All right. Let's take this cover off. It looks a little dry around the edges. The center looks good though. On the top here, looks like there's tiny bit of moisture, but not a whole lot really. So that's okay though. So we're going to dig in here and just take a look and see how they're doing. So they're slowly working through this. We've got a little spider coming over the top here. Again, castings look really good. They're kind of dry here on the sides. This is starting to dry out a little bit. Let's just sort of dig in here and see what we can find. Thought I saw a worm. Up, here we go. Oop. If I can grab him. There we go, our first worm that we found. Actually, there's another one up here. So first couple worms, which is a good sign. Before I really make another bin, I'd love to find like, 20 to 30 worms in here. Oh, there's another one right here. So there's 3. And actually, maybe I should put these in another container while we're doing this. Or maybe not. Maybe I can't find a container that I had before. Oh, here we go. It's off to the wrong side here. So let me just grab a container here. I'm going to throw these in a container. We'll just see how many we can find in here as we're going along here. And just so you can see, I've got this glass container over here to put them in. This definitely looks a little bit more dry than it should be. Especially on these edges here. Oh, more worms. Again, another one right over here. These guys are definitely smaller than what we had when we first started, but they're definitely Africans from the way that they look. So they're kind of shrinking in size. That could be partially because the moisture content in here is a little bit low. If they're scrounging around trying to find moisture, that can be that can lower sizes. I've found, at least in the reds. Just kind of working my way here through the system slowly. This all feels very nice and easily. This would be very easy to sort right now. Oop, wait, hold on. There's one right there. And there was another one over here. See, look at that. They're definitely getting a little bit smaller than what they were when I first got these worms. They're not the monsters that I had before. This one's a little bigger, but they're not as long as my hand, which is what happened when I first got all these worms from the mail order. By the way, I am looking for... I use Memes Worms, and I do have a link down below that's an affiliate link if you're looking to buy worms, but she does not sell Africans, so I am looking for a supplier that I could trust that would provide good quality African Nightcrawlers to my composters that follow me. If you are somebody that does that, please let me know down in the comments. Send me your site, I'll take a look, and we'll see. Maybe I can use you as one of my other sources for people to order worms from. But I want to make sure that it's good quality, so I'm going to have to check you out a little bit. But if you're interested, please leave a link down below. So, see again, it's an African, but it's smaller. There we go. This one's a bigger one right here. Nice blue, slight blue sheen to it, or purplish color. I mean, this material is just, I'm amazed at how nice the material is from these worms, because it's primarily cardboard that they're going through, so you don't get a lot of the other stuff in there. But the material is just phenomenal. Here's another. This one's a big one. So let's just keep going here. We're doing we're getting more than I thought. I was really getting a little worried with these systems. Oh, here's another one. Not quite as lively. But as I said, this system is definitely dry on the dry side. I probably should have checked it a little bit earlier. You know, as I said, it's been close to a month. And we've got these little tiny worms coming out of it, I feel, because of that. Oh, another one over here. Alright, now let's switch over to the other side. I think we did add food at one point on this side. I do like to try to add a little bit of food, although these guys really do love their cardboard. I don't like just feeding them cardboard, though. I feel it's an unhealthy diet. I did have this, and I've seen these break down before. Hold on, another worm right here. Another one over here. We're getting a decent pile over here, more than I expected. Oop. Almost lost that one. Another one right here. Another one right here. So we're starting to get some. I mean, here you go. You can see the pile of worms I have in this tray right here. There are really quite a few. So, which is a good sign, because remember, I did empty this out at one point of most of the worms. Now, these sponges, I threw this in here a while ago. I really expect them to work through it a little bit faster. This is all cellulose, so it's something that they should be able to work through no problem. I've done this before, where I did some testing to see if worms could actually eat through sponges, and I did find that that worked. So that's why I'm, kind of doing that. I wash them off and I kind of clean them in with a lot of fresh water before I put them in here, so they're not covered in soap or anything like that. And then I usually let them dry out, and then I do the same thing again. So we're starting to get some bigger worms on this side. So maybe this side, I think, had the food on it, which is why we had the labels over here. So I'm wondering if that might have triggered some growth over here. Definitely finding enough worms now where I think that if I wanted to, I can make another bin and get another bin started with these worms. So I think we've determined that we should do another bin. Now, I don't have one ready to go, so we can't do that today, but we can at least get it ready after we check the other system out. But these guys are doing really good. They're really making progress on this paper. Let's just see here. I'm not going to dig up all of them, I think. Let's just see. I thought I had fed on this side. So you can see there's bigger worms over here. So I think that there's there's more food. There's more cardboard over here and everything. I'm not seeing any bugs, like a proliferation. Here's a tiny worm in here, like I've had some fungus gnats and fruit flies and stuff, but I'm not finding any of them in here, which is a good thing. I don't really want them in here, but just sort of surprised. I thought they would have sort of made it into all my bins, but it looks like they're picking specific ones to be in. So as you can see here. Another one over here. Oh, here's a real little one. This is a little baby. Look at this. Look at that one. Let me bring that up closer to the camera there. Little baby worm right there. So they're definitely multiplying in here, which is a great sign. Definitely think this needs more moisture though. But this material looks great. I could probably sort this right now and get a ton of castings out. Probably the cardboard would fall right through to the other side, which is exactly what you want. But I think last time I did not get a pile of worms this big out of here after searching the entire thing meticulously. And I basically only did one side really meticulously. So let me show you this. I'm going to show you this worm pile here in just a minute after I find this one right here. And look at this. One of them is trying to escape. But this is a decent sized pile of worms right here. I mean, you can see right here. That is a worm ball. And I know this doesn't look like a lot, but considering the fact that this was empty, I took all the worms I could out of here. And actually, there's a couple right over here that might have fallen out. So, I mean, I had emptied out almost every single worm I could find in this system. And to have some big ones left over like this is a good sign of how these worms can multiply. So, this system looks really good. I think I am going to add a little bit of food. We are going to get another system going here. But I think I'm going to add a little bit of food to this, because I'm finding more and more over here. So I really think that they're over in this area. as you can see. I think they're in this area because this is where we last fed. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury this side really well. Put that sponge back down in there. Oop, there's another one. No, don't climb out of there. And what we're going to do here, we're just going to do a quick verification that there's no worms over here. We're just going to add a couple of frozen pieces of food over into this area. So I'm not going to add a lot compared to what I normally would add, but here's a banana peel. And actually I'm going to break, because of how well these are working on this food, I'm going to rip off this top stem. So that way it's kind of more ready to go. And then I think I'm going to add, oh, maybe not that. Hold on. Just a couple more things. And the only reason why I'm adding these is I would like to keep them having a varied diet. I don't really like to have worms having just cardboard. That's not going to make good castings either. In the end, you really want a variety of material that they're eating. And now I'm going to just bury these in here really well. Oh, there's one worm, another worm right there. I don't want him over by the cold section. I'm going to cover this up. Now, what we're going to do here, I'm not going to add any more cardboard. We're going to let this sort of go. I'm going to dump these worms back in. Oh, one more over here. Come on. There we go. All of them are back in here on the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of water here. So I'm going to just grab, I've got my sprayer right here. I'm just going to add a little bit of water where they are, just to get them a little bit wet. Spray down the sides just a little bit. I'm going to add more water than this. I'm just kind of getting it wet right now. And I'm going to grab some of my water that has the BTI mix in it. And just add a spoonful or two just to kind of make it, that'll soak up through. It's going to keep everything nice and moist. And this should be about the same temperature as the bin since it's been sitting in my basement. I'm going to put some over there by the food, by the sponge. There we go. Just one big thing of water. I think that's good. That's going to give the worm something to work into. And, we're done with this system. So we're going to come and take a look at another one here and see how the other system is doing. I will add a new date on here. I will put it on this side over here. So you can see I'm going to put the date on this side, which today is the December 6th. So our last update was on 11/9. We're going to have a December 6th update over here. We'll get another system ready. We'll empty this out in a couple weeks when that system is ready to receive worms. We'll empty out all the worms in here. We'll let this sit for a little bit, see if it repopulates with baby worms again, and then they grow, and we'll go from there. But right now, let's grab the other system and see how that's doing. All right, here's the other system. This one was not working nearly as well. It still feels really light. I'm guessing that there's not a lot of worms in here or enough moisture. And actually I'm seeing some fruit flies, or actually these are fungus gnats coming out of here. That is not a good sign. I tried to keep those guys away, and this might be the system that's giving me some issues then. So we're going to pull this paper off the top here. We'll just fold it up and put it to the side over here. We'll see what we can find in here for worms. So let's just dig into the center section. The outside looks a little bit too dry. We did add some castings in here last time to try to get this microbial activity up a little bit. Let's just see what we can find in here. And again, I'm going to pull the worms out. And these were all adult worms when I started this. So we're going to put them out and put them in a container over here. Again, very dry over here and over here. I'm kind of surprised by that. I did have that piece of plastic on top that should have kept the moisture in. I am seeing some fungus gnats in here too, which is kind of surprising. Now, hold on a second here. I have one crawling on my glove here. It looks like there was some grit. Almost looks like grit. I don't know what this is right here. This does not look like, let me see if I can pull it in, get it in focus here. There's little white dots on here. I don't know if those are cocoons or if that is fruit fly larvae. It's hard for me to tell. I don't have great vision for stuff this close and small. But if you guys can see on there, and I'll take a look at it when I pull up the video, where I can zoom in a little bit. I'm moving a little bit closer to time. Right there. So it looks like there's some stuff on there. And I'm seeing quite a bit of that in here. So I'm hoping that is actually cocoons and not fruit fly larvae or fungus gnat larvae. Looks a little small to be fungus gnat, but it could be or fruit fly, I mean. It could be fungus gnat though, I think. So here's another worm over here. Again, the sides are just really dry on the top. Down here, a little bit of moisture in the corner. Not much though. So right now we've only found a few worms. This was filled with almost all, as I said, adult worms. So here's a big one right here. And is that a baby worm right there on my glove too? So there are some babies in here, which is a good sign. I'm going to leave the baby in there. Oh, come on. Come on, there we go. So we're just going to keep going through here. Mix this up a little bit. Not really seeing much on here. If you see anything on the video, please let me know. It's really hard for me to catch everything on these videos when I'm making it. And also, you're seeing from a different angle than I am. So sometimes you'll see stuff that I do not see. I try to keep everything as centered as I can. I know that some of the stuff in here is just, I do see another baby worm right in here. So put that in frame. Right in here. So there are baby worms. Let me see if I can get that in the focus. Look at that. Little baby worm. So they're definitely multiplying in here. It's probably helping with the fact that there's not enough food for them, and they're probably trying to make a lot of food or babies to or cocoons for when the food does come back. And it is a little bit dry in here as well. Surprisingly, I did a lot of water from what I remember last time. So just sort of looking through this stuff, see if I see anything that's moving. Again, some more stuff that looks like it could be maybe some sort of cocoon in here. It doesn't look like anything I'm used to seeing in any of my bins. Very few worms so far. They definitely are on the smaller side too from the ones that I'm seeing in here. Now I do keep another system right next to this which has all of my the hamster bedding in it, which they really seem to love. So I do wonder a little bit if some of them have sort of skedaddled over the side here and been like, well, I'll just go to this other system that's a little bit better. And this is way too dry over here still. As I said, I did saturate this with material, and maybe we'll see here. But right now, we'll still get another system going after this. But I think what we might need to do is we might need to add some more castings to this from my other system. So let me grab that real quick. We'll add some castings. Alright, so I have the other system right here. And I've got the one that we just went through. I'm going to take the top off. Bring some of the material with it. And I'm just going to take a handful of material off the top here. Nice big handful like this. Okay, big handful. We're going to sprinkle that in here. And maybe actually, by the way, they've already dug in here onto this top section. Maybe 2 handfuls in here. And this is actually, might bring over some worms too, but that's okay. We're just trying to get this inoculated again with, with good bacteria and maybe something that's going to hold in some of that moisture a little bit better. So a couple of handfuls there. I'm taking it from the opposite side of where we fed, so hopefully no issues with that. Maybe one more. Okay, there we go. So this system is not doing nearly as well as the other one is. It's not surprising to me because the other system was just, it was inundated with worms. I did a lot of things right when setting it up. It sat because the worms were delayed in getting here. So we're just going to mix this in. If there was a couple worms in there that we brought over too, that's okay. But we're going to let this sort of mix in a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in some water because this is drying up. And we do need some more water in here. So again, this is water mixed with BTI. So if I have fungus gnats or anything, this should help kill the larvae. I did see what might have been a couple of them in there. And we're going to mix this around quite a bit. So there we go. Probably a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So there we go. That's for that. I'll add these guys back in here. Just a few of them. We've got also all the little baby worms already still in there. And now what we're going to do is just going to sort of mix this up a little bit. See if we get some of this. I did think about putting food in here. It does worry me with how, the fact that I'm already seeing some bugs in here and stuff. I'm not sure I really want to load this up with food. That just could be an explosion of bugs then in my basement. I already have some issues with that to begin with, so I don't really want to add more if I don't have to. So, but this should at least help try to get this inoculated and hopefully get these little worms to speed up their growth cycles and maybe even help get some of the cocoons to hatch a little faster. So we'll add the same thing. We'll add today's date of December 6th. I'll add that as a sticker. Obviously no food though for this. But hopefully this will help it out a little bit so we can get this sort of going a little better. Now we need to add our plastic wrap back to the top, which is another thing that I made a change I think last time too, is I got this bigger piece of plastic over the top, kind of sealing a little bit more moisture this way because the other one was kind of small. I was hoping to kind of keep it centered, but I realized that was not working very well. So hopefully this will work. This will turn around and get a little bit better. I still debate whether I should make a third one or not right now. This one still has a long way to go, although we did see what looks like maybe cocoons in here. I think for right now we might hold off for maybe another couple weeks before we make the other one. If not, I'll probably check on it during the week. If this starts, moving a little faster, we can start that up. Or when I check the hamster bin, maybe then I'll realize, hey, we need to get those guys out of there, or just add more cardboard to it. So we'll go from there. I think we'll skip making a new bin for this week. We'll just continue with the two that we have for our African Nightcrawlers. But this is looking really good, and I'm really happy with the way the first one's turned out. This one I'm hoping will improve a little bit. But we did see some babies in here, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and ask. And again, if you are someone that sells African Nightcrawlers and you have referral links, or I can do a referral, please let me know, and I'll look at your site and we'll see if I can pick up another person to have a trusted partner to sell worms to my viewers. So thank you for watching.